I hope you and your families are doing well. In this video, I'm going to go through 7 of what I think are the most interesting stocks that have IPO'd in the last 2 years, and I'm looking for opportunities to develop, and I'll show you how I'm thinking about how those opportunities may develop. I'm going to put a significant emphasis on the technical action of the stock, the earnings per share estimates, the quarterly earnings and the quarterly sales, and also whether or not there's higher quality growth funds invested too. So I really hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. They are my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you are interested in a discounted trial, then you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. So let's begin with an overview of the video, and then we'll start going through the 7 stocks on an individual basis. So what are the 7 stocks that we're going to be going through? They're the ones that you see tagged here. So ARM Holdings, Cava Group, Loire Holdings, Nano Nuclear Energy, OneStream, Reddit, and Tempus AI. So they're the 7 that we're going to go through. I'm running a very simple IPO screen. So let me just show you the criteria that I'm applying to that. I'm going to go open edit here. So quite simply, I want the IPO date to be either in 2023 or 2024. And I want the market cap to be greater than 100 million, just to help filter out a lot of the liquid stocks. Now what you'll see is we have 106 results out of Market Surge's current database of 10,406 stocks. So we've really reduced it down there, and then I'll simply go through them one by one and flag those that I think are of interest. So what I'm going to do is take you through those 7 of interest to me, and I'll explain why I think they're interesting. Now I'm actually going to start here with Loire Holdings. So what I like doing is I'm flicking through here. This is one of the nuances and why I like using Market Surge. Is here we have some higher quality funds, and what do you notice? Well, what's quite interesting is in the most recently reported quarter, so for June 2024, we can see that we've got 5 higher quality funds, including Fidelity, have initiated positions. Now what you tend to see with these higher quality funds is they'll initiate a position in a quarter and then they will add in subsequent quarters. So for me, I'm thinking that's the proverbial smart money is in here accumulating a position. So then I want to be thinking, well, where am I expecting them to be stepping up and supporting the stock? Well, it's more so going to be around the 21-day EMA, but also if there's a pullback to the 50-day simple period moving average, which is going to be the red line that you see there on the Market Surge chart, that's potentially an area where I want to be looking as well. So those of you have followed me for a while will know, okay, I'm potentially looking for shakeout demand tails, gap down reverse bars, trigger bars around the 50. So that's going to be the red line, and then the blue line that you see that Loire is currently holding around is the 21-day EMA. The kind of pink magenta line is the 10-day EMA. So why is this one currently on my radar? Well, we have an IPO that's recently set a new high at 80.79, so that's going to be the all-time high there. But what I'm looking at here is this is quite a constructive pullback towards the 21-day EMA. Okay, kind of undercut, reclaim, pull back down, tight little bar there. Okay, the volume is around about average. It's pulling back in, potentially around the prior base highs as well. It's kind of just undercut those, but I'd be looking at this as maybe like a cut with a little low pivot, low handle forming there around the 21-day EMA. So this one's quite interesting to me from a technical perspective to see if there's going to be a setup around the 21-day EMA. The point about the higher quality growth funds, and if you take a look down here, what we've got is we've got the earnings and the sales and the after-tax margins reported on a quarterly basis, but year over year to remove the seasonality effect. So what do we see? Well, in the most recently reported quarter, earnings from a year ago were 1 cent, and the company has just reported 13 cents. I would say that's quite a material change. Sales have gone from 74 million to 97 million, and we also have an acceleration in the after-tax margins. Now, if you take a look over here, this is what I like looking forward to. I like seeing that the EPS estimates are going into all-time high territory and really pushing hard into all-time high territory. So you can see 2022, 2023, the company was losing money, okay? Losing 3 cents, losing 5 cents. But what do you see now? Okay, the company is expected to report this year 43 cents, which I'd say is pretty material relative to the prior 2 years, and 2025, 74 cents. So we get that really nice acceleration coming through. So for me, this stock is hitting on quite a few cylinders. EPS estimates, all-time high territory, company expected to make money as well. The quarterly earnings coming through, the quarterly sales coming through, the acceleration in the margins, the point about the 5 higher quality growth funds initiating a position in the most recently reported quarter, the fact that the stock is basing around all-time high territory, currently pulling into its 21-day EMA, the relative strength line is strong. This is one I want to have on my radar, right? So let me take you through a couple of other ones. So ARM Holdings, much bigger stock, semiconductor related stock, AI play to it as well. A couple of high quality growth funds in there. You can see that Fidelity increased their position in the most recently reported quarter. But I'm looking at this thinking, okay, this is a pretty sizable base that's building here for ARM. It's recently been able to reclaim all of its key moving averages. In the short term, I'm thinking, can it transition into more of a cup and a handle type pattern. So if I was to split this base, if we were to say kind of first half over here, and then there's going to be a badly drawn 2, so first half here, second half here, okay, have we potentially got a cup and handle type pattern? If I was to really kind of split that down the middle of the base, so first half, second half, okay, more of a kind of cup and handle. I like the big shakeout that occurs down here at the low of the base. If we take a look at the earnings and the sales, the acceleration in the after-tax margins, the EPS estimates going into all-time high territory, okay, it's firing on a lot of cylinders, and there's potentially a very big causality. And something else that I like looking for is the character of the stock in terms of how well does the stock run. So for me, I'm an intermediate term swing trader primarily, so what I'm then looking for is, okay, how well does the stock trend along, say, its 10-day EMA, its 21-day EMA. So I'm looking at this here. This is a big earnings gap up, okay, so it breaks out of this base here on the earnings, mega volume coming through on that day as well, and then it trends and pushes higher, and it does it in a very strong manner. Here it kind of sets a little low pivot in here, kind of in here as well. Then note the trend along the 10-day being this pinky magenta line, and also the 21-day EMA being the green line as trailing stops. Okay, I'm trying to get a feel for the stock. How choppy may it be? How well may this stock run? But that's one that I'm looking at as well. Kava. Some of you in the US may have eaten at a Kava. Never been to one myself, but I hear they are pretty good. So we've got numerous higher quality growth funds involved. Some recently have decreased their positions, not kind of significantly, but they have decreased. So I'd say that there is a negative. So it's a positive that there's a lot of high quality growth funds, but it's a negative that some of them have decreased their positions. Fidelity just holding flat in there, but you can see what I mean by Fidelity doubling their position in Q1 of 2024. So that's pretty good. But let's just take a look over here before we even go onto the chart. The EPS estimates. Okay, company goes from losing money to earning 12 cents. Then this year expected 42 cents. Then next year expected 50 cents. So again, it is often the expectations of future earnings that really propel a share price higher. Darvis said that 50, 70 years ago. It is expectations of future earnings that really propel share prices higher. So that's why I like taking a look here at the EPS estimates. What is it for this year and for next year as well? Take a look here. We got the quarterly earnings up 183% year over year. So the company goes from reporting 6 cents to 17 cents, and the sales accelerate from 172 million to 233 million on a quarterly basis. After tax margins accelerating as well, 1.2 to 5.4 to 8.5. We made the point about the high quality growth funds. This is going to be an all-time high for the stock here. Recently had an earnings gap, so this is something that I like paying attention to. How does the stock act on its earnings? This here was a big kind of shakeout and then drive higher on the earnings as well, and it came down pretty close to its 50-day. Okay, kind of bounce off the 21, nearly gets to its 50, but a nice shakeout on the earnings. Then you get a nice big gap on the earnings volume, relatively strong close as well. You can see it closing near the kind of up 80% of that bar or so, pulls back down, finds support on the 10-day in here. Now what I'm looking for is a shakeout to the 21-day EMA being this green line. So first retest of the 21-day EMA following this earnings gap up. That's a spot in which I'm looking for it. NNE, so this one here, this is going to be slightly different to all the other stocks. The company has no earnings, they have no sales, and right now my understanding is they have no product as well. However, it's in a strong area of the market. It's in a strong theme, which is clean alternative energy. So energy providers, energy producers, and potentially those stocks that could help with that as well. So NNE being one, SMR being another one as well. So develops portable nuclear energy solutions utilizing proprietary reactor designs, intellectual property. Now, why this one is getting my attention is it's the same point that I made on ARM. Note the explosive move from about $10 to $37. So see how it sets this little kind of low pivot around its 10-day EMA right in there. The volume dries up, pretty textbook, right? Nice one there. So what I'm thinking of, the stock was able to do that previously. Maybe it's going to be able to do it again and run up a couple 100%. We will see, right? So I'm looking at this here. Okay, it comes down, it sets a low, it bounces, puts in a quasi kind of double bottom pattern. The higher low is positive there from a structural standpoint. It's kind of chopping around a little bit. It tried to go on Friday of last week, in the 27th of September, and kind of reverse. I call that a supply shoot. I'm wondering if it can kind of pull back down and flag into, do that badly, I'm wondering if it can flag into its 10-day and 21-day EMA. So if it can kind of do something like this, just see it kind of tighten, the volume dry up, and then maybe do something like that, and it kind of sets along there along its 21-day or its 10-day. Would like to see the volume dry up here a little bit too, but this is one is much more of just a momentum type play. There's going to be a high short interest in this stock as well, I would imagine. I haven't looked at it in the last week or so, the short interest, but I'd imagine it's going to be pretty high, so potential for a short squeeze there. But NNE is one that I'm looking at, SMR is one that I'm looking at, and then you have more of the kind of nuclear energy, uranium related plays. You got Cameco, you got CEG, you got VST, NRG, VRT, a lot of V's, a lot of T's in there, but they're some of the ones I'm looking at. Let's go onto OneStream. So OneStream and Tempus AI, as the name implies, are going to be AI related ones. So provides unique AI enabled and extensible digital financial. That is my dyslexia. You'll see that I'm dyslexic, so I struggle with reading, which is why I don't often read in these YouTube videos. Cloud software platform that increases impact of CFO. So why is this one getting my attention? I don't think from a kind of fundamental standpoint it is strong as some of the other ones that I've shown you. However, it is a relatively new AI related IPO. It is there near all-time high territory, around about $35 or so. I don't want to chase it here. What I would like to see is more so a pullback into the 10-day or 21-day EMA. So potentially it kind of bounces, it pulls back down like this, it maybe puts in a shakeout like that, and it pulls into, say, the 21-day EMA. That's more so where I'm going to be looking at it. I would like to see the volume then dry up on that pullback as well. So as I said, the earnings, the sales, and the after-tax margins I don't think are as strong as other ones. So if other ones are setting up, I'm going to be more interested in those first. But this one that I do want to have on my radar, the fact that it is AI related, relatively new IPO, round all-time highs of about $35 or so. Can it pull into its 10-day, 21-day EMA? Reddit. So here we go. Let's load Reddit up. So for me, this has got the potential for a sizable IPO base. Now, again, if I was to kind of split it in the second half of the base, if I was to do something like this, there we go. So in the second half of the base, I'm wondering, okay, potential cup and handle for me, short-term extended here. I'd be looking for a pullback into 10-day, 21-day region. So something like this. So potential cup, and then can it kind of pull in, form a handle, find supportive action around its 10-day or 21-day EMA. So what I'm really looking for is this handle to form. I'd like to see volume drying up. Interestingly, you've had Fidelity initiate a position, then close to double their position as well in the next quarter. So that's the point I was making earlier on with lower holdings, that you've had a lot of funds initiate positions, and then what you tend to see in subsequent quarters, not all the time, we tend to see is them then adding to their positions. So then I'm thinking, okay, where is Fidelity likely to be stepping in? I don't think it's going to be here. I think they're more so going to be waiting for the stock to pull back and then supporting it around certain moving averages, more so the 21-day EMA, potentially the 50 if there's a retest there. But Reddit is one that I'm looking at. It can be a little bit choppy, but it can go on some decent runs. And then finally, Tempus AI is one that I am watching here. So the stock made a decent run. See how kind of tight it gets in here, and look how the volume dries up. So when I was talking about a lot of the ones, okay, I want to see it pull back to 10-day, 21-day EMA region, like this action in here, if I just kind of draw a little box around it, that there, tightness in price, low relative volume, indicating there's very little selling, there's very little supply coming through, is what I'd be looking for. So as the name implies, at Tempus AI related, I still think that is going to be a very strong theme in this market. It pulled back down to its 50-day simple period moving average, formed a nice shakeout demand tail, is what I call that. The volume is beginning to dry up, and now it's clustering around the 10-day, the 21-day, another recent bounce off the 50 as well. So I'm looking for more so a low pivot to form in here. So either a shakeout demand tail, a gap down reverse bar, or a really tight kind of trigger bar action, as you can see back here in what's that, August. In August, the dates confuse me because obviously Americans do it the other way around for the date and the month. So then it always takes me 2 seconds to go, okay, is this American date or UK date? So anyway, in there in August, so I'm looking for that kind of action. So maybe it can just kind of tighten up here. But this is one I want to have on my radar. I think it could be quite explosive. Now, would I prefer if the company was earning uber amounts of money? Yes, I would. Would I prefer if the sales were even higher, the earnings were obviously even higher and positive, if the after tax margins were better and the company was profitable? Yes, I would. So this is much more of just a technical play relative to some of the other ones like a Cava, where I've showed you actually really strong earnings, really strong sales growth coming through in those ones. What is also catching my attention is 1, 2, 3, 4 higher quality growth funds initiating positions in the most recently reported quarter. So then it's the point of, where am I expecting them to step up and support the stock? Well, the 50-day simple period moving average is going to be a real checkpoint for that, and the 21-day as well. So 4 high quality growth funds in there. So this is one that I'm watching very, very closely as well. So I'll wrap the video up there, guys. Hopefully you found that useful for me going through a couple of the newer IPOs in the last couple of years that I found interesting. I'll show you one more time just how I create this very simple screen. Market search, I've just opened the edit here. I'm just looking for the IPO date to be in either 2023 or 2024. You could back that out and go back to 2022 if you want. Obviously, you're going to have the further back you go, the more stocks that you're going to have. You could add some other criteria in here as well, that you want the EPS estimates to be above this, you want the volume to be above that. I like to cast a relatively wide net when I'm screening. I don't like to be really strict with the criteria that I'm applying, and then I just like to go just go through the results. As my stutter, just going through the results using my eyes, and going, okay, may be interesting, may not be interesting, flagging the ones that I think of interest, and then putting them in a dedicated watch list. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting the channel as always, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.